Sheila Dikshit. So Congress was evil. Then later on, when he fought the Lok Sabha elections, it became about bashing Modi, bashing BJP, bashing RSS, despite having taken a lot of support from the RSS. So Arvind can is a flip-flopper. He can go from RSS to a Congress to, wherever tide takes him. And so he can just change. He can just jump to the next thing, whatever he thinks will serve him. So it's an extreme form of political expediency. And Kejriwal ji is very smart. He knows where to go. Clearly, he's doing it only because he feels and realizes that the Muslim vote bank has slipped, which is why he's neglected it. You see, all the imams getting together are actually saying that for 6 months we tried to reach him. And for 17 months, we've not been paid a salary. That says something. That's a very strong
last word from you, Nishant Anand. With an adversarial relationship with the centre, how are you even expecting to fulfill all these promises? Every other day, the government seems to be announcing a new scheme, but clearly there is a floor and there is a ceiling. There are limitations to the kind of fiscal budgets that we have.
Yeah, I believe when you have an intent to give it back to the people of Delhi, we have been able to do it since the last 12 years. We have all these like LG and the central government did not help us, but Aam Aadmi Party has always delivered what we have committed. See, BJP has no vision. As I said, in the 20 states, they have a government.
Pointing out, Mr. Anand, in Punjab, you could not fulfill a lot of those promises, including those made to women. Do you think that the party is sort of overstretching itself, in some ways coming across as nervous for the first time, probably, seeing a sense of a threat from the BJP this time?
I believe how can we be nervous when we are giving tax money back to the people, and BJP is not nervous.
Exactly.
Who's giving 1,100 rupees cash money in the envelope, where BJP, Modi ji and JP Nadda's hologram is there, and they're giving cash without any, they do not have a vision, they do not have a manifesto. We need to understand today, why is the Delhi only state where we talk about education, employment, schools, healthcare?
Okay, we're completely out of time. Thank you both of you for joining me on this broadcast. Delhi politics is heating up there, like you saw. Our panelists discuss it out. And the latest flashpoint there is, of course, this promise made to Hindu pujaris and also granthis by Arvind Kejriwal. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out, how electorally it influences voters. That's all we have for you in this show. More news on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
And it's like मैं everywhere कहीं से भी करूँ collect spend करूँ direct.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated,
Go hard, go hard.
When India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new heights, NDTV brought it all to you. Your trusted news destination. Yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
5, 4,
Countdown to a big ISRO launch.
2, 1, 0.
Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new highs. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
5, 4, countdown to a biggest show launch.
2, 1, 0.
Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
It's a fresh Congress versus BJP flashpoint in Karnataka. The BJP says that Karnataka Minister Priyanka Kharge should be arrested. Karnataka IT Minister says that BJP is falsely implicating him. Politics heats up over the alleged sexual assault case in Anna University campus. From actor Vijay to BJP Tamil Nadu chief, all make a beeline to the governor over women's safety. A team from the National Commission for Women also visits the campus. And battle for Delhi intensifies. Aam Aadmi Party announces monthly aid for priests and granthis. BJP questions the timing of Aam Aadmi Party's saffron outreach. It's a second round of showdown over Sandesh Khali. Mamata Banerjee makes a veiled attack, says that money was paid by Shuvendu Adhikari for fake news. Shuvendu Adhikari also heads to Sandesh Khali. ISRO all set to end the year on a high with its space docking experiment to lift off Sriharikota. Our top story is coming from Andhra Pradesh. A decision on a regular bail to actor Allu Arjun has been postponed till next Friday. This even as Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan said that Revanth Reddy's government has done nothing wrong. vis-a-vis the film industry. The actor-politician who's related to Allu Arjun has not met the Pushpa star after the episode earlier this month.
Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan has supported the stand taken by Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy in the actor Allu Arjun episode. The former actor, whose brother Chiranjeevi is the uncle of Allu Arjun, has so far not met the Pushpa star in the last 3 weeks, nor did he issue any statement on the issue. Pawan Kalyan said unlike the YSRCP, Revanth Reddy had always supported the film industry and had responded appropriately following the stampede. He said the law is equal for all and the police had rightly prioritized public safety. Film is a collaborative effort and therefore Allu Arjun cannot be held solely responsible for what happened. He felt the theatre management should have apprised the actor about the situation and also that Allu Arjun's family should have reacted and proactively approached the victim's family much earlier. On Monday morning, producer Dil Raju met Pawan Kalyan seeking permission for promotional events in Vijayawada and to increase ticket rates for his Sankranti release film Game Changer starring Ram Charan. This even as the Nampalli courts postponed to January 3 the plea of Allu Arjun seeking regular bail. The Pushpa 2 actor is on interim bail for 4 weeks till January 10. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And in a significant development, an FIR has been lodged against Raju Kapanur, a close aide of Karnataka Minister Priyank Kharge, along with his associates following the suicide of contractor Sachin in Bidar, which has triggered political war of words in Karnataka. Here's a quick report.
It's an 8-page suicide note allegedly by this 26-year-old contractor, Sachin Pansal, who allegedly died by suicide on the 26th of December, that has led to a sharp political controversy around Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. In the alleged suicide note, Sachin Pansal alleges that Raju Kapanpur took 15 lakhs as bribe for getting projects. Kapanpur issued death threats and demanded 1 crore. Kapanpur also allegedly plotted to kill the BJP MLA. The BJP has demanded a CBI probe into the case and has asked for Priyank Kharge's resignation. The Karnataka government has ordered a CID probe. For his part, Priyank Kharge admits to knowing the accused Raju Kanapur, but says he had no knowledge of the contractor or of the allegations.
BJP is trying desperately to link the contractor's suicide to the government. But unfortunately, as usual, they're falling flat on their face. They have absolutely nothing to prove that the suicide has happened because of anything to do with the department or with the government. There's an alleged suicide note, which is very vague in nature, and there are 2 versions for the suicide. I have requested the Home Minister as well as the Chief Minister to ensure that there is a free and fair investigation to hand it over to the CID, and both of them have agreed. Let the inquiry come out. But the BJP, which is going hammer and tongs and going to town saying that there is a scandal, I double dare them to even show one single document that links anything to do with the government.
Bharatiya Janata Party, we demand Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji to remove Priyanka Kharge immediately from the cabinet. Priyanka Kharge has to be dropped immediately from the cabinet, and the fair and proper investigation has to take place in the entire episode. Fair probe can be expected only by CBI. We are not demanding this. Entire Sachin family, all the 5 sisters whom we met today, has repeatedly demanded that they don't have any faith in the local police because the police are under tremendous pressure.
As this sharp political exchange plays out, the issue is a serious one for the Congress, as it involves allegations against the Congress president's son.
The BJP is firm on its demand for CBI investigation and for Priyank to resign. But the Siddaramaiah government at the moment is not willing to comply. The investigation has been handed over to the CID, but no arrests have been made so far. With camera person Kumar, Nihal Khidwai for NDTV.
And politics heats up over the alleged sexual assault case in Anna University campus in Chennai. From actor turned politician Vijay met governor over issue of women's safety. This comes at a time when the National Commission for Women has started its probe on the campus.
A team from the National Commission for Women on a fact-finding mission at Anna University, a week after a woman student was sexually assaulted on the campus of this eminent institution. The team also met the governor.
आयोग से टीम बना करके हम लोग आए हैं और आ करके हम लोगों ने 4 आदमी की कमेटी बना करके हम लोगों ने सारा रिपोर्ट लिया और रिपोर्ट लेने के बाद गवर्नर साहब को भी हमने अपना जो फंडिंग आया वो दिया है। मैंने जो पाया यूनिवर्सिटी की कमी, पुलिस की कमी, व्यवस्था की कमी, उसको मैंने गवर्नर के पास रखा है।
Mounting pressure on the ruling DMK on law and order, TVK chief actor Vijay urged Governor R.N. Ravi to ensure law and order and women's safety in Tamil Nadu. In a letter addressed to women in the state, Vijay, who's set to contest 2026 elections, said he is distressed. Police detained many of his cadre who distributed his letter to women. The issue has brought the opposition on the same page. The AIA-DMK took to the streets.
DMK and the police are hell-bent to save the real culprits behind this. Only one has been caught. And the court has come down heavily on the commissioner. How come you decide it is only one person? Since BJP and DMK are hand in glove with an alliance now, and they don't want the truth to be unveiled any further, and blatant statements and remarks by MK Stalin stating that he will safeguard women and children is a laughable stock.
Police has arrested 37-year-old biryani seller, a history sheeter. The Madras High Court has constituted an all-women special investigation team.
The government, which has swiftly acted, arrested the culprit and has imprisoned him as per the constitution and the law of the land, despite reassurance from the government and the commissioner having an elaborative press meet on what has happened. Just because there is a word called sir which has been lied by the accused to the victim, they are utilizing that sentence out of nowhere and trusting the accused in this matter and making a big political issue out of nothing.
The sexual assault has no doubt shaken up Tamil Nadu, raising questions on women's safety, embarrassing the ruling DMK. For the opposition, the issue has turned into a political fodder. But the big question, will the perpetrator be brought to justice? And would lessons be learned? In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find TV.
And ahead of Delhi polls, another promise coming from Arvind Kejriwal, this time an honorarium of 18,000 rupees per month for priests if voted to power again. Hitting at the BJP's Hindutva card, Arvind Kejriwal hopes that this will yield electoral dividends. The BJP has responded, questioning the party's timing. Here's a report.
Hindutva factor enters the battle for Delhi even before polls are announced. Arvind Kejriwal promised an honorarium of rupees 18,000 per month for priests if voted to power again, hitting the BJP's Hindutva card with its own paperback version. The symbolism behind the choice of location, Rajiv Chowk's Hanuman Temple, for the launch of the scheme isn't lost on anyone. The temple has played quite a significant part in his political journey. Meanwhile, the BJP was quick to hit out at Kejriwal, calling this announcement a mere election stunt.
इस योजना के तहत मंदिरों में भगवान की पूजा करने वाले लोगों को पूजा करवाने वाले पुजारियों को और गुरुद्वारे में ग्रंथियों को हर महीने सम्मान राशि देने का प्रावधान है।
ये देश में पहली बार हो रहा है। आज तक कभी किसी पार्टी, किसी सरकार ने ऐसा नहीं किया। इस योजना का कल से रजिस्ट्रेशन चालू होगा। कल इस योजना का रजिस्ट्रेशन एक तरह से शुभारंभ करने के लिए मैं कनॉट प्लेस के हनुमान मंदिर जाऊंगा।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी लगातार कई वर्षों से अरविंद केजरीवाल के घर का और इनके कार्यालय का घेराव कर रही थी मंदिर के पुजारियों और ग्रंथियों के साथ कि आप खाली मौलवी और इमामों को वेतन दे रहे हैं, मंदिर के पुजारी और ग्रंथी को क्यों नहीं दे रहे। पर अरविंद केजरीवाल को उस समय कानों पे जूं नहीं रहेंगी क्योंकि चुनाव सर पे नहीं थे। हम लोग कोर्ट में गए, 2022 में हमने एक पटिशन डाली, 2024 में भी डाली और अब 21 जनवरी को कोर्ट की तारीख है जहां अरविंद केजरीवाल को कोर्ट को बताना है कि इमामों और मौलवियों को मैंने 2013 से अब तक 58 करोड़ 30 लाख 90 हज़ार रुपये दिए हैं, उसमें मंदिर के पुजारी और ग्रंथी को क्यों नहीं दिए, उसका जवाब दो।
BJP is also questioning the timing of the announcement, raising the appeasement politics charge.
जब 10 साल आप नहीं दिए, 10 साल केवल मौलवी को देते रहे, पुजारी सड़कों पे चिल्लाते रहे, तो अब ऐसी स्थिति में आपके ऊपर जो गुस्सा है उस समाज का, अगर देना है तो पूरे 10 साल का जोड़ करके दो अभी।
Amid all the criticism from the opposition, Arvind Kejriwal has already started meeting the delegation of priests in Delhi.
It's a tall promise indeed, with Arvind Kejriwal now playing on the Hindutva pitch. But the big question is that will it actually turn out to be a game changer for the Aam Aadmi Party with the religious leaders, or will it backfire as the BJP claims? Now with camera person Kanan Patra, this is Ishka Verma for NDTV.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee today hit out at the BJP as she visited Sandesh Khali. This was her first visit to the violence-hit area after the TMC was accused of targeting BJP cadres. Leader of opposition in Bengal Assembly and BJP leader Shubhendu Adhikari announced that he will also hold a yatra in this area starting Tuesday. Here's a report.
মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রীকে একবার দেখার জন্য আজ তিনি সন্দেশখালীর মাটিতে পদার্পণ করেছেন।
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee in Sandesh Khali in her last administrative program of the year.
আমরা স্বাগত জানাই পশ্চিমবঙ্গের মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্রী মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়কে।
Sandesh Khali had hit national headlines as the BJP campaign in Bengal for the Lok Sabha elections pivoted around the allegations of sexual harassment and land grab in the area, with the BJP making a woman from Sandesh Khali, Rekha Patra, the Boshirhat candidate. Mamata Banerjee hit back at the BJP, but her focus remains on ensuring that the woman vote remains with her as she addressed beneficiaries and outlined the impact of several women-centric schemes.
বিজেপির চক্রান্ত তো আপনারা জানেন, সারাক্ষণ ওদের অনেক টাকা আছে, এগুলো মানুষের টাকা নয়, এগুলো হচ্ছে অন্যায়ের টাকা। বিজেপির টাকায় হাত দেবেন না।
The BJP questioned why Mamata Banerjee did not visit earlier and only came at the end of the year.
ममता बनर्जी का पास महिला अत्याचार कोई इशू ही नहीं है। एक इशू है राजनीति, वोट का राजनीति, और वोट के लिए वो अभी संदेशखाली पहुंच गए, लेकिन जो महिला लोग अत्याचारित हुआ उनके लिए नहीं गए। इसीलिए मैं ममता जी से दरखास्त करना चाहता हूं, आपका पॉलिटिकल कार्यक्रम जो करना है आप करें, लेकिन जो पीड़ित महिला है, जिन लोगों पर अत्याचार हुआ, उस महिला लोगों से मिलना चाहिए, उस गांव में जाके उन लोगों से बात करना चाहिए।
Mamata Banerjee launched an attack on the BJP regarding the Sandesh Khali allegations, but the Trinamool chief was very clear that apart from the allegations which have been countered by the Trinamool Congress, what it's aiming at is winning back the women voters in Sandesh Khali by announcing a slew of schemes aimed at women. And a lot of those schemes are also something that has ensured that the Trinamool has been able to emerge victorious in successive elections in West Bengal. The counter-narrative by the Trinamool being set by the Chief Minister herself. With camera person GD Shankar in Sandesh Khali, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, died at age 100. Jimmy Carter, the former US president, had a special bond with India. A village in Haryana was named Kartarpuri in his honor, is a testament to his connection with India.
On Sunday, America and the world bid farewell to a remarkable man, a man who embodied the spirit of service and diplomacy. Former US President Jimmy Carter passed away at the age of 100. Carter, the 39th President of the United States, died peacefully in his home in Plains, Georgia, surrounded by family.
This is a sad day, but it brings back an incredible amount of good memories. Today, America and the world, in my view, lost a remarkable leader. He was a statesman and humanitarian. And Jill and I lost a dear friend. I've been hanging out with Jimmy Carter for over 50 years, it dawned on me.
After serving just one term as president, Carter's post-office life was defined by humanitarian efforts, earning him the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. In New York, the Empire State Building stood as a beacon of honor in the colors of the American flag. Around the world, tributes are pouring in. From his visit to India in 1978, where a village was named Kartarpuri in his honor, to his recent efforts in promoting human rights and peace, Carter's legacy is deeply intertwined with global diplomacy and compassion. World leaders are reflecting on his profound impact. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Carter worked tirelessly for peace, fostering ties that will last for generations. As the world says goodbye to President Jimmy Carter, we are reminded that the seeds he planted in fields of peace and goodwill will continue to bloom for years to come. With Arjun Samar Mahindran, Bureau Report, NDTV.
In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also condoled the demise of former US President Jimmy Carter and also praised him as a visionary statesman who worked tirelessly for global peace and harmony. With that, it's a wrap from me. I'll be seeing you in just a bit. Thanks so much for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV, at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new highs. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Countdown to a big ISRO launch.
2, 1, 0.
Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new highs. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Countdown to a big ISRO launch.
2, 1, 0.
Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
We look for solutions as we make a resolution for change in 2025. Joining me on the show, Apsara Reddy, spokesperson of the AIA DMK. We have Kasturi Shankar, author and social activist. Dr. Ranjana Kumari is a women activist. We also have Tara Deshpande, actor, writer. Apsara Reddy, of course, this should not be in the realm of politics, but unfortunately, this is, invariably we have seen, be it RG Kar, a horrific rape and murder, or what happened in Anna University. It has drawn political lines when it should have been ideally leaders across party lines speaking in one voices and demanding safer spaces for women and ensuring safer spaces for women.
I think when a crime like this happens, I think every sector of society reacts, whether it's politicians, whether it's cinema, whether it's social activists. So I don't think we can single out political parties for speaking their voice, because you can't say don't politicize it. Of course, we are in the game of politics and speaking up for people. So as a party, as AIDMK, it is our right, and it is only just that we speak up for it. Of course, all leaders across party lines have spoken, and we are speaking in one voice for justice for this girl. I think the way in which the police have kind of dragged their feet on this investigation is appalling. I think when a university, which is such a globally renowned university, has such flaws where people can just enter and molest a girl and threaten her a friend and also record videos. This person was also speaking to somebody influential in the government. Why haven't they tracked down the people he was in touch with? Why aren't his gadgets leading to the nexus that he's a part of? Because obviously this person is connected very influentially to the ruling government. He's been with ministers. His name has appeared in the official newspaper of the DMK party. So I really feel when we speak as AIDMK, we speak for justice. I don't think it's about politicizing it. To make India safer, I think every politician, every leader, every woman has to empower families, has to empower girls to come out and report it. Even though this girl had reported it, the FIR was leaked. So how will women come forward? Unless we put political pressure, unless we put pressure from every corner, how will women come out and report this?
Okay, that's a way of looking at it. Dr. Ranjana Kumari, as a women's rights activist who has been taking up such cases for years now, why is it that we have reached a point where these cases are only rising? And if we look at the NCRB data from January till August, there have been almost 10,000 cases of sexual assault.
Well, Maria, because nobody wants to hold anyone accountable. Political reactions are all right. I mean, there is nothing wrong in one party or the other. But drawing every time such cases in political context is risky, because when one party starts protesting against the other party, which is the ruling party of the state, then what happens is that in the largest sense of the whole country, nobody is hold responsible. Like nobody be pinpointed and says such and such party. Every state it is happening. Just look at the data, how it has increased. And also on the other side, none of these people, after this whole political action will be over, nobody is going to ask the assembly or parliament to report what action was taken after all this happened. How many people really got punished, how the courts are really dealing with these cases, why are so many cases pending, what is happening to the victim herself. So all these larger issues are not raised. Now look at the way so much protest went on in West Bengal today. How many people really are following the case, and how many people are really feeling responsible and holding how many really heads rolled because of this, except for the head of the institution. Nobody else, no police officer, nobody. They did not file an FIR in time. There was so much of tardy investigation, so much of leak of data happened. There is by and large, political protests risk the trivializing the issue. When they do it, when it is the opposition which is in power, whichever party it is. So let them protest, but also they must ensure that proper police action is taken in time. And
Yes.
secondly, also, we should not just react. What is the action taken? For example, tomorrow is going to be the New Year's Eve. Now, how many states are prepared in terms of many arrangements that should be made? And I would like to make some suggestions towards that, Maria.
Point well taken, ma'am. Tara, my question to you would be more specific. Women are seen as a very crucial voting constituency, because election after election, state after state, this constituency, because you have seen so many doles being announced for women, welfare schemes which are women centric, but when it comes to safety and security, there is no special effort which is made. And what Ranjana Kumari just said, that we are looking at New Year's Eve, what states are talking about, what is the situation of law and order? I mean, we are curious to know.
Well, there are a couple of issues here. One is that it's the general conditioning of this country to blame the woman for everything. No matter how erudite the people surrounding her are, there's always this doubt, it must be her fault. If she hadn't gone to a secluded place, if she hadn't worn this, if she hadn't said that, if she hadn't done this, this may not have happened. So she needs to change her behavior. The other thing is that ever since, Kingdom Come, nothing has ever really been designed, whether it's medical research, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's travel, transport, keeping in mind the fact that women need to be made to feel secure. We just don't plan buildings like that. We don't plan hospitals like that. And you'll find that these rapes are occurring everywhere where there is a gap or a loophole in security. So I think that's something that we certainly need to look at. But I also think that we need to look at other countries in the world where rape cases have been very high. For instance, like certain cities in South Africa, and the steps they took to mitigate this kind of sexual violence against women. I think that, women have realized one thing in this country, that the only people who are going to look after them is themselves. So maybe it's time now, like in the US and other countries, that they carry devices such as, pepper spray, such as, those special alarms that are created on keychains for women, perhaps even other more modern devices that will help to alert a crowd or will help to call in for help if they are attacked or assaulted. But besides that, one of the most important things we need to do is have panels at a local level and at a higher level that actually talk to women and ask them, what is it you need that will protect you, that will prevent such incidents from happening? Just having some senior police officer who's a man deciding how to make women feel secure is not enough. You need to understand what a woman's daily life is and what are all the situations and circumstances she faces, and plan your infrastructure around it. You just take a look, even in a city like Mumbai, which is relatively safe for women, how many secluded, how many poorly lit streets we have, where the security camera either doesn't exist or is not working. How many long stretches you have that are not manned by policemen. The police to public ratio in India is pretty poor. So I think we need to have more specialized forces for women. But first and foremost, I think women need to start thinking about how they can take care of themselves, because no one else seems to be coming to do that.
Basically, the onus of women's safety is on the women herself. Carry a pepper spray. Try and inform. Have someone on just dial or an emergency. So why is it that when it comes to Kasturi Shankar, that I'll rephrase that question that I asked Tara Deshpande. Election after election, you talk about women welfare schemes, women-centric welfare schemes. Doles which are given just to women because you realize that this is an important vote bank. But when it is about safety and security, that's not anybody's priority, unfortunately. And that's the truth. It is not all right to have only women-centric, spaces like in metros, it's only women only. bogies which are only for women. But what about other bogies where women just get in and then they are pushed and shoved and treated poorly?
This is not about women, Maria. This is about men. Until the men are trained and taught to behave like human beings, you can do all these women-centric bogies and only women buses. And I went to a girls-only school. And on one fine day when there was a carnival in school and I was walking premises by one of the vehicle drivers. So this is not about women. This is about us as a society. But I also want to talk, I wanted to directly address something that Mrs. Ranjana had brought up about, action being taken from the powers that be, state action and the police empowering women. Ma'am, to you and to everybody watching this, I would like to say the Tamil Nadu police and the Tamil Nadu state have been very, very expedient in taking action. In the last few days, anybody who protested against the Anna University rape was promptly arrested. Anybody today, actor Vijay's party members, they didn't even protest. He let out a statement and they distributed pamphlets with a printout of his statement. They were also arrested. The victim in question followed all due process of the law in filing an FIR. That was promptly leaked. So now the message that we are sending, at least in my state, I'm so proud of it. We are sending the message that if women seek redressal, if women seek justice, we will shame them, we will victimize them, we will weaponize everybody around them to go and attack them. Now, it has taken the High Court of Madras to actually pass orders that the girl has to be empowered and ensured safety to complete her course for the next 2 years. Can you imagine a court mandate for a girl to simply finish her studies? This is where we are in Tamil Nadu. So we have no right to talk about Arjikar or Bengaluru because we ourselves, at the end of the day, I think there are two types of crimes against women. One is just regular people, some people, somewhere random acts of violence, which is a social problem. But the other is when perpetrators are complicit with seats of power. I'm seeing it in my state. We saw it in Arjikar, where people who have to actually spearhead the investigation keep dragging their feet and do everything until technically the case is thrown out, until it's no longer tenable in a court of law. What justice have the victims of Unnav gotten? What justice has Asifa gotten? This is a place where a Nirbhaya rapist gets a sewing machine and is let off into society. We really have to change from bottom to top, and all talk is fine, but at some point I think we need good leaders, because at the end of the day, it's the leaders that can make things happen. I'm in Hyderabad. We had KCR's regime here. There was a medical student who was gang raped. Those perpetrators were, they were encountered to death. At the end of the day, I'm sorry to talk about vigilantism, but we really need swift justice and we need swift action.
Yeah, but the state cannot be, or all of us who believe in the rule of law cannot be thinking about, police encounters of rape victims. Anger aside, there has to be the rule of law which has to be followed. Apsara, but the larger question is here we are talking about spaces, Forget about public spaces because that's the responsibility of the state to ensure safer spaces outside. Even on campus, a woman is expected to be protected on campus or in her house. That is not happening.
I think
that's making matters worse.
I think a woman deserves every space. Needs to be space for a woman. I think we have as much right as men to access every space without fear. And I think it's important to have a women's task force not just while I agree with Kasturi that we need to kind of train our men, I think it's also women who raise these men need to be, parenting has to be strong in terms of telling their men, their boys to keep their gaze respectful towards women. Not, a lot of times when you see these kind of debates and you see the kind of social media outpouring, they always blame the girl. The girl's name is always outed. The victim's family is always shamed. But these men are forgotten. These men come out in masks to court. They kind of get protected by all kinds of human rights laws. But what about the victim? Victim shaming is at its peak. So I think when we design these spaces, we also need to design support systems around these spaces, which involve men and women, the neighborhood watch, the police, better CCTV, absolutely high-tech cybersecurity. None of this is happening in our state of Tamil Nadu. I think cybersecurity is at its worst. They don't even know how to find a rapist. They have to go through his social media and just post pictures of him with Udaynidhi Stalin. What about the rest of the nexus? The person he called, referring to as sir, and he was talking to somebody saying, I'm going to send this girl home to you. So who is this sir that he was talking to? Who is the nexus that he's a part of? What has his social media behavior been? So all of this has to be kind of thoroughly looked into.
Apsana, point taken. Tara Deshpande, in 2012, when Nirbhaya gang rape happened and we saw protests across the country, starting from Delhi, I was there covering it on the ground. We felt that this was the tipping point, almost like the tide would turn and all of a sudden the space would be safe for women. We'll be talking about women's safety as the topmost priority. After that incident, what changed? One thing changed was that it became a talking point, but it did not go beyond talking point.
Well, I think that, many laws were put into place, helplines were put into place, there was much more awareness. But see, while we need to hold people in India, the system in India responsible, it's not like violence against women isn't common across the globe. I mean, in a developed country like France, look at the Giselle Pellicotte case. I mean, it's one of the most horrifying things I've ever heard of or ever seen. So women are basically unsafe everywhere. In India, perhaps the frequency is greater, but I do believe that per capita, the frequency in India is actually much lower than many other countries. Not that that's something to be proud of. Even a single rape is something to be terribly ashamed of. But I think that when, you talked about vote banks. Now, giving out special, schemes for women and special spaces for women. This doesn't require you, in a sense, to accept and take responsibility for the fact that 50% of your population is being suppressed and is being hurt by the other sex. You see, you have to get it into your mindset and accept that these crimes are actually happening and someone is responsible for these crimes. And we have to change not just the way we think, because that's going to take a long time. We need to do things right now, like starting tomorrow, that are going to prevent such cases from taking place. And I think one of them is that women have to find measures and ways to protect themselves. I think that we have to form local groups and start consistently asking for places to be made safer, whether it's cameras, whether it's more policemen on the street, because we need to be preventative before we can permanently remove the way people think, sort of in this
I have
backward
just
manner.
enough time for Ranjana Kumari. Ranjana Kumari, we are looking at 2025. As women on this panel, all of us can say that this is a good resolution to take. But it requires, partnerships with men in the society who have to be equally interested and if not inclined completely in ensuring safe spaces for women.
I think it's time that each state government should take, immediate action in terms of getting the reports from the police department, which is supposed to be enforcing law and order. Also from the courts, at least some kind of action has to be taken by the state governments. What security arrangements have been made? Who's monitoring them? What kind of a response system they have created? None of our states have specially trained police force which can act immediately in such cases. If something like this happens, none of the states have that. We have been asking for such police force for a long, long time. In fact, Nirbhaya, and I remember, Maria, we all were at India Gate, and I think that was the moment where we thought Everybody has woken up. But now it is much more, it's in fact, I think it's become worse. Because what is happening is that all kinds of politicization of this rape, where women's bodies, like, when they are raped, then, they got a political issue to grind axe against each other. But actually, to go into the details of what state governments are doing, what kind of action has been taken, how these cases have been dealt with,
Right.
even the justice delivered to the woman. How many women really got justice out of all this? Have we got any kind of information about that? So I think that is very important. Let political party push governments to present report to the House about what is the status of these cases and what is happening to women, and why women are not safe inside the campus, schools,
Homes.
Besides homes, of
All
course.
right, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. Ranjana Kumari, Tara Deshpande, Kasturi Shankar, and Apsara Reddy. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
(2024), the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new highs. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
5, 4,
Countdown to a biggest show launch.
2, 1, 0.
Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation. Production excellence to regional leadership. NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics.
Good evening, welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom on the programme tonight. Days after vowing to go to war to defend H-1B visas in the US, Elon Musk declares the system broken and in need of major reform. Musk, alongside Indian-American tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, has been at odds with some of the US President-elect Donald Trump supporters over immigration policies. Both are expected to join the incoming administration and have supported the H-1B visa program, which facilitates the entry of skilled foreign workers to the US. Responding to a post on X, Musk emphasized his stance, saying he has been very clear about the need for reform. This came in response to a user arguing that while the US should attract the world's most elite talent, the H-1B isn't the appropriate mechanism. What does this mean for Indians who strive in droves to get that precious H-1B visa. Also on the show this evening, we delve into the crucial debate gripping Indian cricket. Is it time for the team to look beyond the legendary duo of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? Both cricketing stalwarts have faced a challenging period with a string of poor performances, sparking discussions about their future in the national side. We'll analyse their recent form, hear from experts, and consider the emerging talent eager to come up. Should India usher in a new era, or do these icons still have more to offer? Also on the program tonight, closer to 10 p.m, we are focusing on an extraordinary event as the Indian Space Research Organisation gears up for the launch of the PSLV C-60 rocket from Sriharikota. That's scheduled for 10 p.m. We'll be broadcasting that launch live. We'll have a discussion just before that. The SpaceX mission aims to demonstrate India's prowess in space by executing an orbital docking experiment. This pioneering mission will see 2 satellites attempt to dock in space, a technology crucial for future human spaceflight and satellite maintenance. If successful, India will join a small group of nations with this capability. First, the headlines at this hour. Politics heats up over the alleged sexual assault case in the Anna University campus. From the actor Vijay to the BJP Tamil Nadu chief, they all make a beeline to meet the governor over women's safety. A fresh Congress versus BJP flashpoint in Karnataka. The BJP says arrest Priyank Kharge, Mallikarjun Kharge's son, in a contractor's death case. The Karnataka IT minister says that the BJP is falsely implicating him. The battle for Delhi intensifies. The Aam Aadmi Party announces a monthly aid for priests and granthis. The BJP questions the time of the Aam Aadmi Party's saffron outreach. ISRO is all set to end the year in a high with its space docking experiment to lift off from Sriharikota. But first, days after vowing to go to war to defend H-1B visas, Elon Musk has declared the system broken and in need for major reform. Now, what are the implications of this, particularly in light of what Donald Trump has said? H-1B visas, so very important for any number of Indians. Well, joining us now to look at this, Manish Maheshwari. We are joined by Fabiana Zangara, an immigration attorney, Sudhanshu Kaushik, and we're also joined by Matt Klink, a Republican strategist. Matt Klink, let me come to you first. There seem to be divergent voices within the Republican Party. On the one hand, you've got Trump and saying that it's a system that essentially works, it needs to be fine-tuned, whereas you've got others who say that the system itself needs to go in order to protect American jobs. How would you look at this debate?
Thank you for having me. Look, I think that it's fairly straightforward and simple. With the fact that Donald Trump came out this weekend and said that H-1B visas play an important role in America, and the combination of Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy vote strongly backing it, likely means that it's not going anywhere, which is a good thing for all those H-1B visa recipients. I do think that what Elon Musk did subsequent to that is he came out and said that the system is in need of reform, which, to be honest with you, fits with Donald Trump's mandate that the current system as it stands, not just with H-1B visas, but across the board, is broken. And that it needs to be fixed. And ultimately, that's what Donald Trump is going to do. I think, though, where this issue boils down on a political level is that the Democrats are talking about this in the context of immigration. The key word here is legal versus illegal. Donald Trump is going to certainly crack down on illegal immigration, but I would take him at his word when he says that H-1B visas play a valuable role in America and that they certainly will continue.
Fabiana Zangara, critics like, for example, Laura Loomer argue that the H-1B program serves the interests of tech moguls over American citizens. Is there any substantial evidence to support or refute this claim?
So, good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to speak about the H-1B visa program. So, actually, the U.S. has an elite educational system, and it's full of great professionals. However, it's also in urgent need of outstanding engineers and other tech professionals from the world all over, because the need is huge. So the H-1B visa program actually is a great opportunity for professionals to come to the US and actually help and increase the US economy. So just to give you a few numbers, okay, just in 2022, 72% of the H-1B visa were given to Indian-born professionals. So, and around like 6% of them were like engineers in major tech companies. So definitely the H-1B visa is like an amazing program to bring talents in the US, especially for the Indian population.
Sudhanshu Kaushik, Elon Musk has also mentioned that the current system is broken. He's proposed solutions such as raising the minimum salary for H-1B visa holders to make it more costly to hire from overseas than domestically. In the case of any number of Indians every single year looking for an H-1B visa to work in America, would this be a fairly disastrous move?
So actually,
I just wanted to, Fabiana, half a second. That's for Sudhanshu Kaushik. Sudhanshu, go ahead.
Vishnu, the question, I think, is premised on assumptions that we don't know yet. I mean, of course, students, which are now the largest international student community, will be impacted by this. They will reconsider going into colleges and universities to study because they value that STEM OPT and that H-1B opportunity lottery that they get. And as you know, students, as well as Indian origin students, are one of the largest contributors to the US education system when it comes to international education. But I think what Matt was saying was, I think, very essential. It's not just, we're talking about H-1B. This issue that has come up is much broader than that, right? The issue is not just about H-1B or not, immigration or not. It's also about simply racism within the Republican Party. The comments and that have come out, the discourse that's coming out, of course, they're talking about visas, they're talking about legal versus illegal immigration, but they're all just spiteful too. I mean, I was born and raised in Alabama, so I know when I see racism, and this has become popular discourse. So I think what's, to Donald Trump's credit, he was able to make a much larger, I think, wing of voters that are very, very diverse. Now, within that kind of gambit of voters, you have people who are very staunch supporters of H-1B, of Indian immigration, of making sure that, people that are qualified and that are meritocracy are coming in and contributing to the US economy. But at the same gambit of voters, you have people who aren't just commenting on the skills and our kind of, talent, they're commenting on the color of our skin, how we smell like, the food that we eat, and they're making that as the issue. So when we face racism in the United States, they're not judging us by, oh, are you an Indian or are you someone from the Middle East? They're not going to be doing their racism based on that. They're racist because our skin color is brown, because we look different. We're not part of the same homogenous unity that, that they seem to think America is. So I think the conversation and discussion needs to be had on that as well, and put pressure that it's not just about H-1B, it's about, racism and making sure that it's more palatable.
And yet, Sudhanshu, ironically, there are so many, including Vivek Ramaswamy himself, who are people from South Indian origin, of Indian origin, who've done phenomenally well. If you take a look at some of the most successful business leaders in America, from Arvind Krishna to Sundar Pichai to Satya Nadella to Elon Musk himself, these are people who've come or have roots outside America. So there's a huge set of double standards there, right?
Absolutely. And Vishnu, it's not just about these individual figures. I mean, if you think of us Indian Americans as a monolith, we outperform almost every other minority group. So Indian Americans are largely successful. A US sitting Republican representative from Texas had stated on the floor that even though we make 1% of the demographic, we contribute 6% to the economy. So it's not that we're just taking, or this rhetoric that, oh, we're, taking all the money and sending it back home, or etc. We're contributing a lot to the United States. And on top of that, we're also now contributing to the politics. Now, it's up to others, especially the Republican Party, now that they're in power, now that they've gotten like massive votes. I mean, Vishnu, Edison, New Jersey swung almost 90% from Democrats in 2020 to Republicans in 2024. That means the Indian American vote came out. Now it's up to them to make sure that racism, right, does not conflate and make sure that, we're siding with white supremacy, and rather, we're trying to help all Americans who contribute and who have voted.
Manish, let's talk about a meritocratic admission process. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, for example, has criticized the current H-1B system for using, for example, a lottery to select visa recipients, advocating instead a merit-based selection process. He says that the best and brightest should be chosen based on their skills and potential contributions, and it's a process that shouldn't be left to chance. Is there sense in this?
Yeah, first of all, Vishnu, thank you for having me here. And of course, what I'm expressing here are my personal views.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the thinking behind H-1B, I think it's a very well-designed program with a intent to admit people of high skill to fulfill a skill gap in the US. And that is why the way it is designed. And there are different criteria that needs to be fulfilled. And the whole issue, in my view, has been blown out of proportion, because what we're talking about is a number of about 85,000 H-1B visa every year, as compared to like 10 million visa that are issued by the US every year. So it's a very small number, and it does fulfill a gap. Now, to your question about, my personal view is it should be merit-based and clearly well-defined reason to admit someone. And this would be a legal immigration of highly qualified, skilled people who will contribute to the progress and development of the US economy and US as a country. And my view is that that is also critical for the US, because if you look at the startup founders, the number of companies formed, including Nobel laureates. I'm here at Harvard. So if you look at the people who win Nobel Prizes, a far majority of them are people who were born outside the US and who came to the US under some kind of a legal immigration program and made US their home. And that is what leads to innovation and the vibrancy of culture here. And to my mind, that's a competitive strength of the US. So I think even if I were to argue from a US perspective, this is a highly critical and important program to ensure that the best people across the world have a chance to come to the US, and US has a formal mechanism to accept them in a way that US can maintain its competitiveness. So from that perspective, yes, I agree with your thinking that yes, it has to be a merit-based and it should be well-defined. And we need to separate legal immigration from illegal one. And I think the debate you see currently on X and other social media platforms have mixed up everything, right? They are mixing up the legal immigration from the illegal one. They are also losing a sense of the size. It's a very small program of admitting only 85,000 people every year. And third is, look at the outsized impact this program has had on the US economy and the growth of the country. And if you also step back and think about it, intelligence, innovation, competitiveness, highly skills, they are all normally distributed across the world, right? So, why would a country like US not want to have the best and the brightest of the world to come and make US their home?
And Manish,
this is not about displacing, it's about supplementing, right?
You've held an H-1B yourself, right?
Early in my career, when I went to US, of course, for my higher education, and then, of course, when I took this job, I was in it. My view is that it works both ways, right? It gives the opportunity for the candidate to see the US as a country and see whether they want to make it a home. And also for the US to then decide whether they want to extend the H-1B and give them a green card or a citizenship.
The point of my asking you that,
works.
Manish, is because, you are a case in point in how extremely successful people, perhaps the US should consider an H-1B visa for them. You're a former MD of Twitter India. You're now a Mason Fellow at Harvard University. Surely there would be space in the United States for people as worthy as you. That's what common sense has to say. But Fabiana, I wanted to come back to you on the larger issue.
Yeah, but I just want to say, Vishnu, I think you're being too generous. I think there are far more qualified people than I am. And I'm surrounded by extremely qualified people here. So I want to make a generic point that, yes, it's a program that works for the US. And it's a program that's very small in size, and it has been blown out of proportion in the kind of debate we are seeing on social media currently.
Fabiana, to the larger point that Sudhanshu was speaking to, that there is racism, and immigration and concerns about immigration to the US all mixed up, which is why people of a certain ethnicity are potentially being targeted. There's abundant hate on X right now, other social media platforms as well. And therefore, when we look at H-1B and the issue of how visas are given in America, it needs to be looked at through this prism as well, not just whether it should be a lottery system or not a lottery system, the number should go up, should go down, or it should cost more, should cost less. There is a larger cultural issue here, and that's deeply concerning.
Yes, of course. Like racism is always like a great concern. Like according to my experience, we were lucky enough to work on those cases, and we never had we couldn't have any direct impact on our cases, like the cases that we filed. We have seen that very well prepared petitions were always approved, or even though sometimes USCIS requests further evidence in order to approve the case, then at the end of the day we were quite successful with these cases. But culturally speaking, and in the country, there is a concern about racism and how this could impact the everyday life. And of course, immigration, which has a huge impact on people's life, may be affected by racism at all. So we do hope that definitely racism will have no room in the immigration system, even in the next few years and months when Trump is going to be in power. But according to my experience, right now in the immigration system, there is not a huge concern about racism playing a big role in those immigration cases.
Matt Klink, a final word from you. The divide within the Republican Party. On the one hand, you've got Trump and you've got Vivek Ramaswamy saying that, no, let's fix it, but it's a good thing. Whereas you've got others saying that it has to go completely. Let's protect American jobs. We have campaigned on that plank. How do you reconcile differences within the Republicans?
Yeah, two observations on that. I think one is that it's possible to do both, that both are not, what you described are not mutually exclusive. I think that it is inevitable that after 4 years of open borders under the Biden-Harris administration and 10+ million people flooding across the border illegally, that system is going to get a complete overhaul on January 20th when Donald Trump takes over. The second point, though, is I think the most important point, is that taking Donald Trump as the leader of the Republican Party as well as the president of the United States in 3 weeks, he supports H-1B visas. I think that the combination of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Vivek Ramaswamy, they will pull the rest of the Republican Party, which I think is a small but vocal minority, to support H-1B visas, provided that progress is made on stemming the flow of illegal immigrants largely across the southern border. And I take Trump at his word that he supports it. And at this point, I think that the combo of Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk on side pushing for it indicates a high likelihood that H-1B visas not only will be preserved, but will be reformed to make the program stronger, because America benefits from H-1B visa holders in our country. And I think that we have enough room for not only H-1B visa holders, as well as creating jobs for Americans. We can have a win-win. The two are not mutually exclusive.
Sudhanshu, last question to you. You're the executive director of the North American Association of Indian Students. Indian students, the largest international cohort of students in the United States, bring in huge, foreign exchange to the United States. They bring in a lot of money. Now, we've seen in Australia, not so much Australia, but certainly in Canada and in the United Kingdom, a sharp decline in the number of Indian students who are applying with visa rules and the possibility of jobs post a degree declining. If things were to change in America with H-1B visas, would a serious source of revenue for American universities potentially be impacted?
Absolutely. Look, in the United States, there is still a huge opportunity, even though it's been happening for the past 30, 40 years, but there's still a catalytic opportunity for Indians to come on an F1 visa, then transition to an OTP and OPT, and then eventually to the H1B. And universities know this. I mean, college enrollment domestically has been decreasing for the past 30 years. So they need international students, specifically Indian international students, to come in and to ensure that these seats are being taken. And one thing, Vishnu, that I wanted to clarify, we keep talking about merit-based H1B. There's going to be reform. Vishnu, the United States is not India, right? The H1B is not on a, quota system. There's no caste quota, et cetera, et cetera. So when we're talking about merit, what are we talking about? Because the merit to get a job has already been there. The employer hired you. So when you think about the actual H1B lottery, it's not, oh, you belong to this caste or this religion, you're going to get special preferences in the United States. Absolutely not. It's a lottery system. So I'm just worried that when we're talking about reform and we're putting it out on X and we're, having this discourse, what does that really come with? There needs to be some surety that's been given to these students, that's been given to these people that are then applying and investing so much that it's just not a free-for-all, right? Yeah. Reform for the sake of reform, but how do we make it productive, and what's the variability of it?
Look, I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. This is front page news in India today. H1B is highly aspirational in this country, and certainly one would need to look at how the politics in the United States goes forward. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. We're going to move on after a short break, take a look at a huge cricketing debate, perhaps the biggest of all as far as Indian cricket fans are concerned. Is it time for the team to look beyond the legendary duo of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? That's up next.
2024, the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir,
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new highs, NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
5, 4, countdown to a big ISRO launch. 2, 1, 0. Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the new.
Welcome back to Left, Right and Centre. It's time to delve into a crucial debate gripping Indian cricket. Is it time for the team to look beyond the legendary duo of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? Both cricketing stalwarts have faced a challenging period with a string of poor performances, sparking discussions about their future in the national side. I'll be joined by Farooq Engineer and Madan Lal in a few moments, but first, this report about the loss of the fourth test.
Chasing 340 runs, India got off to a disastrous start on the final day in MCG. Rohit Sharma gone chasing the ball. Pat Cummins had 2 in 1 over. KL Rahul gone as well, edging to first slip. With this wicket of Virat Kohli, Australia smelt blood. India 33 for 3. That was when Yashasvi Jaiswal came to the party and made amends for 3 dropped catches. Rishabh Pant batted like a monk for Pant standards for his 30.
Great to watch, isn't it?
Jaiswal grew from strength to strength, notching up his second 50 of the match. India had a brilliant second session as the Youth Brigade took the fight to the opposition, playing 27.5 overs, raising the hopes for a draw. They put on a 79-run unbeaten stand before tea and had a 88-run partnership. Post the tea break, Australia cracked open India's defence. 3 wickets gone for 9 runs, Pant, Jadeja and Reddy back in the hut. India still had 22 overs to survive when Yashasvi Jaiswal went for 84, Cummins striking for a 3rd time in the innings. In the next 10 overs, India's lower order folded up. Australia won by 184 runs, taking 2-1 lead in the series.
Australia take a 2-1 advantage with them.
Well, joining us now, India's legendary wicketkeeper and opening batsman Farooq Engineer. I'm also joined by India's all-rounder Madan Lal. Thank you both very much for being with us. Farooq Saab, let me come to you first. Rohit Sharma in 5 innings in this tour has scored 31 runs at an average of 6.2, no 50s. Rohit Sharma, and Virat Kohli in 7 innings is averaging 27.8, 150, which is actually 100. The difference between winning the series and losing it seems to be these 2 batsmen, because we've done well with relatively well with the others. Do you believe that consistency is now a cause of serious concern?
Well, obviously it's a serious concern. Hello everybody. Good to see my old mate Madhi, looking
Hi,
well.
Roki, how are you?
Smooth moustache there, as ever.
Yeah.
But both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli have been great cricketers and great stalwarts of Indian cricket. They've served Indian cricket admirably over the years. And I hear it's Rohit's desire to retire after the Sydney Test. And I think we should give him that respect, because he's a good player, can't become a bad player overnight. Okay, he's getting on a bit. We all get on. And there is a time when youngsters will replace us. But he's been out to some, both injudicious shots and, pretty good deliveries as well. I mean, the way Pat Cummins has been and has worked him out, and Virat Kohli for that matter, they've done their homework. Australia have just shown the greater desire to win this series than unfortunately India has. We've had our moments. We've had our moments of fighting spirit, some great knocks. Look at young Reddy. I mean, what a fantastic innings that was from him. Jaiswal's, innings have been superb. But unfortunately, the dropped catches, injudicious shots at the wrong time have cost us. We at important times of the match, we've failed.
Yeah.
And that's where Australia had the upper hand and obviously won this test match. It's a very crucial test match. And I think this might even cause us the World Test Championship, that at Lords. I'm not sure what the situation is. But South Africa have certainly gained an upper hand.
As I understand it, Farooq Saab, to get in. But let me go across to Madan Lal. If you talk about Virat Kohli, an average of 27.8 in this series, and that's, purely on the back of one exceptional century. Where does that leave Team India?
See, that's a worrying point, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli has to get runs if they want to equal the series. That's very, very important. Rohit Sharma is out of form. Virat Kohli got one for 100, but after that, he didn't score many runs. But that's a worry point because India needs a good start. India needs runs from them. That's the biggest worry, Indian camp has it. So it's worry us also because they got chances, like Farooq said, they got chances to win the test match, but they didn't capture it. That's the main thing. They drop catches. The partnership between Nathan and Alan, what's his name? Bolden, I think. What's his name? I am forgetting his name. They know that 63 runs partnership that cost them the match. Then Rishabh Pant getting out at the crucial stage. That's where I think we also open the door for the Australians to win the test match.
No, but Madan sir, let me ask you a very direct question. And the question is what we are debating tonight. Is it time for Team India to look beyond Kohli and Rohit Sharma?
Not at the moment. You don't have to be panicked. After the Sydney Test match, then they can decide whatever they want to do.
Yeah. So at the end of the series,
it's their own call. Nobody can tell them whether you want to continue or not. But it's their decision. I always believe it's a very personal decision. And if they keep up the performance, they can carry on. But if they don't, then they have to take a call. Otherwise, the selector has to take a call.
If you were a selector, what would you, Madan sir, tell them at the end of the final test match, assuming they don't come up with any big scores?
If I was a selector, I was in the panel.
Yes.
I could have gone to them and talked to them because they had done very well for the country, and speak to them and then decide what we want to do about them. But at the moment, no panic. Just play the Sydney Test match, then see what happens. You never know; they might win in Sydney.
And then we'd be talking about how they should continue for that.
No. It's not. It's their call. Continue. It's their call. It's not our call. It's a very, very, very personal call. Retirement is they have to decide. That's the matter. If they don't.
No, but let me put that question to Farooq Saab. I think the question is Is it right for us to wait for them to decide when they go, or do we as a nation prioritize winning matches in series and therefore tell them that, look, it is time now for you to go. We can't be losing in this manner with you scoring so little.
Yeah, well, we got one test match to go, one Sydney test match. And now that's our last chance to get even in the series. And I don't think this is the time to drop these two, because they could easily get hundreds for you. They have been match winners in the past. They've been out to good deliveries. Of course, they've had a loss of form. But who knows? The media and everybody has put a lot of pressure on them. But the last thing I would tell them, that look here, if you don't score runs in this match, you're going to be out. That puts even more pressure on them, even greater pressure on them. Just let them be. I mean, they've been great players to earn their place in the team, both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Certainly they should not be dropped for this last Test match. I would certainly play.
I don't think anybody is suggesting that drastic a change. I think it's the future that we're looking at.
Yeah. Have we got somebody who we are keeping out who's much better? Okay, Shubman Gill is there. He's a good player. He's a proved Test opener. He's a very good player. But he's not that much more outstanding. What guarantee is that Gill will get runs? I hope he does. He's a very good player. But over this last Test match, we should definitely stick to both Rohit and Virat and perhaps take a call after the series. Perhaps when we have more time in a cooler frame of mind, you decide. And as Madhi said, that you got to consult these two players. They've been great stalwarts of Indian cricket. You just don't show any disrespect. Just drop them like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's selectors should consider the next tour is England, isn't it? England are touring India in some limited over games, and of course, India tour England for a whole series.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the time you need experienced players as well, and so who knows if there are youngsters coming up? I mean, show me if there's another Shubman Gill, or if there's another young, Neeraj Kumar to come and take their place. Yes, they should certainly be considered. But for the time being, I think we shouldn't panic that much and should continue with both Rohit and Virat.
Madanlal sir, Virat Kohli's, some say the problem lies outside the off stump. For whatever the reason is, on the one hand, you've got perhaps the best cover driver in cricket, but he's also vulnerable outside the off stump over and over again. What would your advice to him be?
See, most of the batsmen are vulnerable outside off stump because that's where the fielding is set. They have a 3 slip, 1 gully, and all the offside field. They keep on pegging it. In international cricket, they don't spare you. They just keep on. Even if you get 100, they will clap. But end of the day, they're going to do the job in offside off stump. If Virat Kohli has to decide whether he's going to leave it or just going to play that ball, then my only worry is about Virat Kohli is I hope that the fear of outside off stump doesn't go into his mind, because that's where sometimes you get out. And once he doesn't have the fear of getting out outside off stump, I think he will overcome this thing, But
I think
bowlers are going to do that all the time.
Madhi made a very good point there. And also, your cover drive is your most... Now, Virat Kohli's cover drive, he's known for his cover drives. He makes them look so easy. And that is the shot that sometimes, more often than not, gets you out as well. Your favorite shot. So, I mean, just go over a period of time. As he got more runs or as he got out more times. Nowadays, he seems to be getting out to that shot. So I think he's clever enough. He's good enough a player to decide whether to come, furthermore. I seen him come right across the stumps and play his cover drive, which he didn't do that before. In Australia, he's done that. He started batting outside the crease to start with, but now today, he was batting inside the crease. So he's obviously playing on his mind. He's trying different things. And he's good enough a player. He's a class player to realize what's good for him. And he can work it out for himself. He doesn't need any batting coach or anything like that. At that level, you know yourself what to do. And as I said, he gets out to that shot outside the off stump, but that's his most, prolific scoring shot as well. And most people are vulnerable. Most batsmen are vulnerable outside the off stump to a ball leaving you, as Madan has quite rightly said. I'm sure he's foxed quite a few batsmen himself, chasing the ball outside the off stump. So that's the thing that an outswinger bowler looks at. And with reverse swing and all that. And so, I mean, Virat can work it out for himself. But certainly
Madan, sir, go ahead.
Before this last Test match. Let them play this last test match at Sydney. And I hope for their sake, for India's sake, that they both get 100 each.
Yep.
And prove everybody wrong. And
sure.
Let's hope we can win this Sydney test match.
Madan Lal, go ahead.
Save our face.
I think, there is another thing, which I think, like Rishabh Pant not scoring runs, in middle order. Because he is such a good player.
Yeah.
The Indian team depends upon him, he's getting out. And that's also, where we are, I think, not scoring many more runs, Today also, once he got out, then Australia thought, they can win it now. Because after that, the tail starts, how long they can hang around.
Yeah.
So that's what thing
his wicket away twice.
Yeah.
And he realized that at number 5, it's a very, very crucial position. He shouldn't be playing, those fancy shots before he really gets his eye in. Today he was playing so well, and I thought he's learned from his mistake in the first innings. But there was one fielder in the boundary line.
I just wanted to quickly go back to Madan Lal for just one moment. As a former India opening bowler, what Jasprit Bumrah is doing now is unbelievable. That he averages in Test cricket in the modern era less than 20. That this series in Australia, his average is significantly better than his normal average.
It's phenomenal.
Madan Lal, what would you have to say about Jasprit Bumrah? Wrap him up in cotton.
I can only say that. I can only say great. Like Australians are still not playing him well. They're still struggling. Like they're not facing him properly. So that's where the Jasprit Bumrah is the world class. And the thing is, he has all the things going on. He has a mixed action. Then he has a speed, Yorkers, and moving the ball outside stump and bringing the ball in. All these things he has it. That's why he's getting a lot of wickets. And the wickets also, there's a bit of bounce. But Bumrah knows where to pitch the ball. That is a very important. Which corridor you have to bowl. That is an important part of it. That's why he's getting a lot of wickets. And he's superb in this series. I'm a little bit, I'm very unhappy because, he's not winning. He's not in the winning side,
What more does a bowler need to do to win a test match?
Well,
he's
Bumrah has
getting
been absolutely outstanding. Can you imagine Indian team without Bumrah? He's held the team single-handedly on his shoulders. And he expects the batsmen to back him up. But unfortunately, they have not backed him up. The fielding has not backed him up. So, Bumrah has been let down badly by the rest of the team. Unfortunately, he's put his heart and soul into it. And what a big heart he has. And even when he gets the top batsman, Travis Head, Australian batsman, for 0, with an absolute beauty, he just smiles and says, no over gestures, nothing telling him to, no rude gestures to him and all that.
No send off. Yeah.
Gentleman he is, and what a great bowler he's
all
been
right,
for India.
We'll leave it over there, gentlemen. Let's hope that we win that final test match. There's a lot more in terms of test cricket this year. Fabulous series. Thank you both for joining us. Wonderful to have two great veterans on this program. We're going to take a break. Up after that, we're focusing on an extraordinary event as ISRO gears up for the launch of the PSLV C-60 rocket. That's going to take place in about 15 minutes from now. Why is it important? We'll come back to you in just a moment.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
"2024, the year that was, when India welcomed Ram. When India decided,
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी,
when Jammu and Kashmir turned a historic leaf,
as Chief Minister for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir.
when India mourned, when India celebrated, when India protested, when India felt proud, when India scaled new highs. NDTV brought it all to you, your trusted news destination, yesterday, today and tomorrow.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Countdown to a big ISRO launch.
2, 1, 0.
Another space milestone for India. The SpaceX mission set to launch to demonstrate space docking technology.
India is ready to do a very unique experiment in space.
A mission to deploy 2 satellites in space. Catch the launch and live action on NDTV.
Welcome back. Let's turn our attention now on an extraordinary event as ISRO gears up for the launch of the PSLV C-60 rocket from Sriharikota. That's scheduled for 11 minutes from now. Why is this an important mission? My colleague and our science editor Pallav Bagla joins us. Dr. Ajay Lele, Deputy Director General at the MPIDSA, the Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defence Studies and Analysis, and General A.K. Bhatt, Director General of the Indian Space Association, will also be with us. But Pallav, as we roll out this animation, this mission is a lot more than just the rocket launching or satellites being released. It's not about cricket either, but it's about what you see on your screen right there. What's happening there?
Well, it's more fun than cricket. This is for the first time
If
India...
you say so, Pallav, but go right ahead.
For the first time, India is going to attempt 2 satellites to be mated in space. Today is the launch of the satellites. The actual docking would happen sometime in the new year. But this mission is all about innovation. From the rocket to the satellites to the 24 experiments which the startups and academics are doing, it's all about innovation, and every part of this rocket and this mission is something new being tested by the Indian Space Research Organization. The rocket was tested and integrated at a private facility, Anant Technologies in Trivandrum. The satellites were tested and integrated at a facility of Anant Technologies in Bangalore. The satellites, when they do the experiment of space docking, is the first one for India, a maiden attempt. Only 3 countries have mastered this, Russia, China and United States of America. And then finally, the top stage of the rocket, which usually becomes space debris, has been converted into a space lab by ISRO, and there are 24 different experiments on it. So it's all about innovation, and ISRO using the power of putting more and more on less resources.
That fourth stage, which will now have a huge role, normally it's after a launch it becomes useless. It sort of burns into the atmosphere, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And
it is
destroyed.
space debris.
Right.
So here wealth from...
So how do they stabilize that platform?
Oh, the whole thing has
for the experiments on board to be recorded.
So ISRO is using that like a full-fledged satellite. So there is a solar-powered system on the fourth stage. There are motors on it. There's a communication apparatus, and the 24 experiments have been placed on the fourth stage. So it's like a full-fledged satellite which will continue to work for 3 months. And this is the fourth time ISRO is using this, what's called the PSLV fourth stage, which they call the POEM. So it's a wonderful way of converting waste into wealth.
General A.K. Bhatt, Director General of the Indian Space Association, also with us. General Bhatt, thanks very much for being with us. The entire process of 2 satellites docking with one another in space, what does this mean for the future of the Indian space program?
Like I would say, this is a major step forward to the missions which we plan for the future. Because this itself is a trial for what we are going to do in the future. Firstly, for the Bharat Antariksh Station. Because, as you know, the Bharat Antariksh Station will not go in one piece, but a number of its components will go up.
Right.
And they have to be all docked together. They have to be brought together. And this technology will be one of the critical technologies of assembling the Bharat Antariksh Station in space. And then beyond that, when we have a manned mission to moon again, docking would be one of the critical technologies which will be required.
All right, General, but hold on for a second. Let's cut full frame to ISRO Master Control Center and let's just listen in to what's taking place.
Servicing of liquid propellants into the stages, pressurization of onboard command gas bottles are some of the activities that are carried out during countdown.
T-7 minutes. अब हम उड़ान से 7 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं। इस दौरान आपको PSLV C60 के प्रमोशन घटनाक्रम के बारे में जानकारी देते हैं। इसमें सर्वप्रथम T-3 सेकंड्स पर रिएक्शन कंट्रोल थ्रस्टर्स का प्रज्वलन शुरू होगा। T0 पर प्रथम चरण S139 सॉलिड बूस्टर का प्रज्वलन शुरू होगा। इसका प्रज्वलन काल 111 सेकंड का होगा और इस समय यान लगभग 50 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर लेगा। प्रथम चरण को यहाँ यान से पृथक कर दिया जाएगा। इसके तुरंत बाद ही PS2 यानी द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो जाएगा। यह चरण तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है।